and welcome back if this is not your first time to my channel and especially to my monthly resets. Today we are going to be doing a February reset, which January 2024 went by faster than I think any January has thus far in my life. Although I am not complaining, I am excited about warmer temperatures, getting into summer. I think January and February are the hardest months of the year. They're really good to spend time inside redoing your house and reflecting on your mindset, but they are pretty difficult because the days are short. If you're like me and you don't have your Christmas decor up after the first week of January, there's really not a lot to keep your spirits bright after the sun goes down. It can just be a rough time. So I've been focusing on reading lots of books on mindset and consciousness and working on my meditation practice. So it's been really good for me. I feel like I'm using my time wisely, and we're going to talk more about that today. But welcome back to another monthly reset. I've already changed my computer wallpaper. I have actually really loved doing this. Instead of having the same wallpaper all the time, I go on theeverygirl.com. I just think that their tech wallpapers are the best, and it's a good way to start fresh on my computer as well, since I spend so much time on my computer. I've also been changing my phone wallpaper every single month as well when I do my phone reset, which I'll talk about more as well in this video. And I'll put my current wallpaper up right here that's on my lock screen on my phone, and I've made a habit of reading this every time I open my phone or just look at the lock screen. And I also hid my notifications at the bottom, and it just says like how many notifications you have in really small letters at the bottom, so you can always see your full wallpaper. I just think it's aesthetic and it doesn't stress me out, so I did that. If you are not yet subscribed to my monthly newsletter, please do subscribe to that, because I talk about pretty much everything I did in this video in that newsletter, but I do a little bit more of a deep dive on my book recommendations and all the books that I read the past month, and I link all of my favorite items that I go over from the previous month. So it's just a good way to catch up with me on a monthly basis, and I also try to give you some inspiring content to go towards the next month, hopefully help shift your mindset as well to be more productive and more positive. So I don't want this to be too long. Like always, let's just jump right into it, and I like to do a quick review of the previous month. So January was honestly a really good month for me. First of all, big news, we are getting a screened-in porch added on to our house, and I have wanted this for years. I know I will be out there all the time, and I'm really excited. I will definitely be sharing more of our decorations for it and the process, so we're excited to share that, but that is really exciting to see. And it also gives me something to look forward to. I did a really good job of sticking to my habits and my routines and the goals that I had planned for myself for 2024. I've talked about this before, and I think in my January reset, setting goals for the new year is something that we all do, and I think that that is great. But you have to make sure that you are breaking your goals up into achievable chunks so you can check in with yourself at least on a monthly basis. And that's the point of these monthly resets for myself, and I hope it motivates you to do the same. Say, for example, your goal is to save $12,000 in 1 year. If you break that up into monthly payments, that is $1,000 you have to save every single month. Is that actually realistic? Is it something that you can do? Or is that some goal that you're going to be reaching for all year and that you just cannot feasibly meet? I'll talk about that more in my January reset, and I'll link that up here and in the description box below if you want to review how I set my goals, how I break them up into monthly goals as well. But I did a good job keeping to my monthly goals for January. And on that same note, I feel so strong because I have found a really good workout routine. One of my 2024 goals is to be able to do 10 pull-ups and 20 push-ups easily. So I have been working on that every single day, and I can tell that I am getting so much stronger and my form is getting better and they're getting a little easier. So I'm very excited about that. Like I said earlier, the month of January I feel like went by really fast, and I'm not complaining. I also fell back in love with Pinterest, so I also created another video, and I will also link that one up here and in the description box below. But it is kind of like my tips for making 2024 the best year yet. And one of my points was spending less time on social media and how to create screen time limits and app limits on your phone. But what I have been doing is going on Pinterest, and I don't have an app limit on Pinterest, but the reason is because it truly sparks so much creativity for me, and I do not find myself comparing to other people when I'm on Pinterest. For some reason, I don't know what it is about Pinterest that just feels so wholesome and truly like lights a good, happy, creative fire within. It gives me that hit of dopamine that we get from looking at social media without any of the side effects that come with, at least for me personally, TikTok and Instagram. So I've really been loving Pinterest, and I feel like it's a really good, positive thing. So I'm excited to keep scrolling on Pinterest. So my January goals, these are all the ones that I hit and the one that I did not hit. So I did one vlog a week on my short content. I did not do 2 OOTDs a week. I don't know why, but I'm gonna be better about that in February, and I'll talk about that in a second. I did post a weekly YouTube video, and I did edit my YouTube videos daily, which I'm very excited for because this is a habit I've been wanting to get back into for months, and I did it without fail in January, and it taught me it is so easy to stick to my daily habits if I just make them a priority. My personal goals for January, which I also hit all of, and I'm very excited. I hit my daily mile, so I run 1 mile every single day. I stretched daily. I have been trying to get the splits specifically for over 10 years, like literally over a decade I've been wanting to get splits. I have dreamt about getting the splits, so I've been working towards this daily. I think it's helping. It's just 10 minutes a day that I stretch. I have meditated daily, and I will admit some days are literally 2 to 3 minutes before bed, and that's fine. I am practicing my meditation, and I am getting better at making it a habit and getting it into my routine. So I did a good job of that. I did read 4 books, so I am on track for my 40 book year. And then every single day I wanted to practice at least 1 pull-up and at least 2 push-ups. So every single day I did at least 2 pull-ups, and now I can fully do 2 pull-ups. A month ago, at the beginning of January, I could hardly do 2. So that is why I said I feel so much stronger. And then my push-ups, I've been doing 5 to 10. I'm just trying to get really good form for those for my end of the year goal. So for my February goals, they're pretty much identical, but I added one thing. So the same goals as January, I want to do 1 vlog a week on TikTok, Shorts, and Reels. Right now I have it scheduled to actually do 2 vlogs a week. And then I want to post, just like I wanted to in January, 2 OOTDs a week. And I'm also putting these on Pinterest. And the reason why I'm doing my outfit videos is because that is something that I truly love doing, is creating outfits with the clothes that I wear, because I love to shop. Now that I work from home, it's so easy to just put on the same sweatpant outfit or athleisure and not wear anything different. But I really want to make sure that I'm wearing my clothes and styling them, and so that is why that's one of my goals. And then I'm going to do a weekly YouTube video again. This month, I want to challenge myself to post a TikTok video once a day. It'll also help me to get ready more often in the week, even if I just do a very simple thing to my hair, or just put on mascara, or just pay attention to my outfit. It'll make me feel more productive in my day, so that's why that's my goal as well. And then the same goal as January, my daily video editing. Some of my personal goals for February, these are all the same except one as well. So daily mile, stretch daily, meditate daily, read 3 books this time instead of 4. I did find it kind of challenging to do 4 books this month because I was so focused on my other goals. So I think 3 books is plenty, and that will still keep me on track for 40 books in 2024. But in February, I want to make sure that every day I'm doing 5 push-ups and 3 pull-ups. And my new goal for February is a no spend. So I don't want to buy anything except food and groceries in February. Okay, now I'm going to go over the 4 books that I read in January. The first one I read was a continuation of the A Court of Thorns and Roses series. I've read all 5 books now. I read book number 4, A Court of Frost and Starlight, and I rated this 2 out of 5 stars. I was just not the biggest fan of it, and I will go into more detail in my blog post on all of these books. I also read A Court of Silver Flames, which was book 5 of 5 from the series. Honestly, I rated it a 4 out of 5. I think it was one of my favorites from the entire series, which, looking at some reviews on Goodreads, that is a very unpopular opinion, but I loved the book. I will say a lot of those books, They're pretty spicy and some of them are just a little bit too much for me. I don't necessarily like reading all of that, so take that as you will, but that's kind of why I rated it the way that I did, but I still really did enjoy the book if you're into that series. The third book I read is The Courage to Be Disliked, and I only rated this 3 out of 5 stars. And it's kind of a mixed review because while I loved the book and I would consider it kind of a life-changing book, it wasn't the easiest thing for me to read. It was kind of like I had to keep rereading and I would easily lose my train of thought, but it was still a really good book. I do highly recommend it. I think everyone should read it. I just don't think it was the most captivating book I've ever read. And then my final book, the fourth book I read in January, is The Untethered Soul. And this one I came across by accident. I was searching for a different book in Libby because I get all my books for free through the library app. And this one came up instead. And I put the title in like my Amazon in the search bar and figured out that it's like a #1 bestseller. It has so many reviews, so many great reviews. So I started reading it. I think this is my favorite book ever. I will say this is definitely one of the most life-changing books I have ever read. So I rated it 5 out of 5. Highly recommend. If you read one book next month based on my recommendation, it should be The Untethered Soul. Some of my favorite items from the month of January, I got all new earrings from Etsy, and I put them on here because I don't even change my earrings out anymore, and I will show you what one ear looks like. I finally found earrings that don't have a post sticking out the back, and so the back of the earrings are all either like a little ball or a flat back earring or just a regular hoop. But I never take these out anymore. I've had them in for the past month and I love it because I constantly feel like I look more put together when I have little earrings on, and they have been such great quality, and I got quite a few different ones, so I'll link all the ones I got in the description box below. I also got this ring from Etsy. It is my birthstone, which is a sapphire, and my husband's birthstone, which is pink tourmaline. For October and September, those are our birthdays, and I think it is just the most precious little ring, so I added it to my stack. My Wonder Puff jacket from Lululemon, since it had been so cold, obviously it is January, but this thing is so warm. I wanted one for years and I finally bit the bullet and got it this past fall. Mine is specifically the cropped one, and it is not too cropped. I think it's perfect, but it keeps me so warm and it is so soft on the inside. I have never found a puffer jacket that I like as much as this one, and I have tried many of them. So I do personally think that it's worth the price. It's also water resistant. It's not waterproof, but it is water resistant. So that makes me feel good knowing that if it's snowing outside or if it's drizzly, the hood is detachable as well, which is a must for me because sometimes I don't want a hood and other times I need a hood, like when it's drizzly or snowy. And last but not least are my platform cushionaire boots. These are UGG inspired. They look just like them, and I wear these more than my Uggs. The only thing is I do not wear them without socks because the inside is like a slick synthetic fur, and so it does make my feet sweat a little bit, and my Uggs do not. But the reason why I got them is because they are half the price of UGG boots. I love my Uggs, but I don't want to buy a trendy platform shoe and spend as much as a pair of Uggs cost. If it's gonna be trendy and a platform boot like these, I wanted to spend less money. I've actually ended up wearing them more because they are platforms, so when it is snowy outside or rainy, I feel totally fine wearing these because you have a good few inches to get wet and not like ruin the top suede part of the boot. They're so comfortable to walk in all day. I've never like fallen and twisted my ankle with them. I just love them. They're not too tall and they're so cute and so trendy. If you go through my outfit videos on my Pinterest as well as my TikTok, I wear them all the time. So the last thing I'm going to do, and this is new to 2024, but the last thing I'm doing is at the end of every single month, I'm going to go through my camera roll, and I actually use Google Photos and I pay for Google Photos, and then I delete them off of my iPhone. Since I create content, this is so helpful for me to make sure that I'm staying on top of my camera roll and it's not getting too junked up with random recordings, and I also record in 4K, so it takes up a lot of space. So we are going to, feel free to do this with me, this is why I'm putting it in the video, go through your camera roll from the past 30 days, delete anything that you don't need. If there's any screenshots that you need, what you can do is add it to a note in your phone and then delete it off your phone. It'll stay in your note. And I'm going to delete everything on my phone and then put things I want to keep into Google Photos and start with a clean, fresh camera roll every single month. I also have my walking pad here, so I'm going to film a little bit of it and I'm going to just walk a little bit while I clean out my camera roll. That literally took me less than 10 minutes to do, exactly 8 minutes and 22 seconds. And I went through everything in my camera roll and deleted everything I didn't need. I did have a few screenshots, like a workout routine I had screenshotted, so I added that to my notes app in my workout section, and I just feel so much more organized. So I'm definitely gonna do that every single month because it helps so much. So that pretty much wraps up this video. That is how my January went, and those are my February goals, and I feel ready for a new month ahead. I feel like we can close out the previous month. If you want to add to this, I also recommend something that I did yesterday is to go through all of your credit card statements, all of your financial reports, your bank accounts, look at how much you've spent, look at how much you have in savings, go ahead and pay off any outstanding bills that you have. Make sure that you go into each month with a fresh mindset in all aspects of your life, and it makes you feel so on top of things and so responsible. If you have not yet subscribed to my YouTube channel, please subscribe. It helps me out so much. And as I mentioned earlier, also you can subscribe to my monthly newsletter. I will have the link to that in the description box below. It's through my website. The only email you get is that one monthly email. There's no more emails. Otherwise, I will see you next week for my next video.